Let's hear from Oxford University, Ben Shapiro, discussing this, and let's share some further thoughts on this.
You've spoken about this issue about Israel and Palestine a lot in recent interviews. You've rightly condemned the atrocities that occurred on October 7th to innocent Israeli civilians. I tried to find videos of you condemning the deaths of innocent Palestinian civilians at the hands of the IDF or Israel, but I couldn't find any.
Right, because
so
I don't draw moral equivalence.
I just wanted to ask you directly, will you condemn the deaths of innocent Palestinian civilians in the same way that you do innocent Israeli ones?
Absolutely not. And the reason I will not is because the killing is not done in the same way or with the same purpose. That's like saying that do I condemn? That's like saying, will I condemn the person who murders a baby in their bed by burning them alive the same way that I condemn the police officer who's trying to arrest that person and accidentally kill someone in the process? Of course not. Those are not the same thing, not remotely.
But there have been innocent... do you not sympathize with the life of an innocent Palestinian child?
Of course I do. That's why
way?
Hamas should surrender today. Hamas should surrender today. This bullshit that it's Israel's responsibility to protect Gazan civilians in a way that Hamas doesn't have to protect Gazan civilians, or that what's happening right now is not the result of Hamas's terrorism and currently holding over 200 hostages, including babies, in custody. That's insane. Trying to draw a moral equivalence between people who are making targeted strikes against terrorists, who are hiding underground in tunnels deliberately, violating international law, in violation of the Geneva Conventions, holding the other side civilians underneath the ground while not providing their own people fuel, not providing them food, not providing them medicine, and that I'm supposed to equate Israel attempting to make targeted strikes with Hamas literally sending 2,000 terrorists across another nation's border and into civilian areas with no military goal. With purely the goal of murdering those civilians? Let me ask you, why exactly would you equate...
I'm asking you questions
well,
here, Mr.
you got several questions, so I'm asking... Honestly, I'm going to ask you the same question. Why would you?
I am asking you the questions here. I find it really concerning that you're not prepared.
Why won't you answer the question?
I find it really concerning that you're not prepared to condemn, to even admit that it's sad when an innocent Palestinian child dies.
Of course it's sad. I just said it's sad.
In the same way that it's sad when an innocent Israeli civilian dies.
Of course it's
Why are those two not equally saddening to you?
I'm of course incredibly sad when anybody who's innocent dies, but it is not the same evil when somebody murders a baby in their crib as when someone tries to kill a terrorist and that terrorist is hiding behind the baby. That's not the same thing.
But innocent Palestinian children have lost their lives.
Of course they have, and Hamas should be blamed for all of that, and Hamas should surrender today. Will you call on Hamas to surrender?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then we're in agreement. Great.
Okay.
Well, I would make one adjustment to what Ben Shapiro said, which clearly he had the upper hand with rationality, with any intelligence. Ben, do condemn the killings of innocent children in Gaza. I condemn, but I condemn Hamas for it, not Israel. So absolutely, it's sad. And absolutely, we need to condemn Hamas. They're responsible. They're the ones who hide behind them. They're the ones who are actually happy when their own children have lost their lives for the cause of jihad, for the cause of furthering their cause. That is something to be condemned. That is I think any decent person does condemn it. So she's looking that Israel should be condemned. Well, that's the mistake. Israel's not to be condemned. They're just fighting a war of defense to protect their innocent, the innocent lives of Israelis, which are, by the way, Jews, Christians, Muslims. They're protecting all those lives as they have such a responsibility. And as Hamas has, but obviously is not interested. Interesting also to note, when she said, I'm asking the questions, everybody clapped in appreciation. First of all, that was the only thing that she had the upper hand, not because of rational argument, but because, after all, that was her job to ask the questions. But if she was honest, answer the question. There isn't honesty. There is an agenda, and it is victimhood. We're there for what we perceive as the victims. And since Israel isn't perceived as a victim, even though October 7th did occur, we were the victims, the hands of monsters. But we don't portray ourselves as victims because we get up, stand up for ourselves, and do what we need to do. And because now we have the upper hand, of course, But much more on that to come. What are your thoughts on that? Please share with me.